Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, fire destroys apartment building in Bristol. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 9, Ray Brewer.
Call came in just before 5 Tuesday morning. A multi-unit apartment building at 50 Beach Street in Bristol was on fire, and that fire was spreading.
I was already feeling the heat come through the kitchen window. It was like 10 degrees hotter in the kitchen already.
Michael Belzer lives next door at 40 Beach Street. While fire crews battled the flames, a Bristol police officer went through that building, making sure everyone was out.
They were, at the time, asleep, so a little confused, a little disoriented, and then panic sets in, and they start grabbing what they can to get out.
While most went willingly, one woman had to be forcibly pulled from the building as she tried to rescue her cats.
She kept trying to go back in the structure, and at one point, we were inside the apartment, and flames were actually coming into the living room from the neighboring building that was on fire.
Firefighters managed to keep the fire contained to the two buildings, although the weather took its toll, and a fourth alarm was sounded.
It's still humid and it's still hot, and we're exhausting crews pretty quickly.
One firefighter was treated for heat exhaustion, but aside from that, there were no injuries to anyone. But now, for the residents, comes the task of putting their lives back together.
There's no apartment left. There's no floor, no wall, no ceiling. Just everything we've ever had is gone in an instant. Like within an hour, it's gone, everything.
Now, some of the 25 people who were displaced by this fire are staying with family or friends. The Red Cross is also helping out, assisting those who lost everything. Reporting live in Bristol, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Polls open in Massachusetts for primary election. Let's take a listen to the video from WCVB, Boston.
And it's been quite a few years since a Democratic incumbent has been ousted during the primary, but one thing is for sure, this race is now in the hands of the voter. Mike Capuano and Ayanna Presley hitting the polls bright and early, casting their votes, appearing confident.
We have really built this movement. It's more than a campaign, from the grassroots up.
I feel good. I mean, look, it's been a long campaign. We've done everything we're supposed to do.
Capuano, a 10-year Democrat incumbent for the 7th Congressional District. Presley, a former Boston City Councilor. This particular race drawing national attention, which Capuano attributes to recent events.
The truth is because I think a lot of the national media missed the New York race and trying to make up for it.
He's referring to the political upset in New York when a 28-year-old political newcomer unseated a 10-term incumbent Democrat. That aside, Capuano and Presley agree on almost all issues. Capuano touting his experience and seniority in the House, while Presley calls herself the disruptor, giving voters a chance for change.
Campaigns haven't really changed except for the technology involved. The concept is still the same, one-on-one, one person at a time, one door, one phone call. And we've been doing it for months now, so I feel pretty good about this.
This is a fight for the soul of our party and the future of our democracy at a time when our country is at a crossroads, the Massachusetts 7th is at a crossroads, and certainly our democracy is.
And in the 3rd district, there's a crowded field, a 10-way race to replace Congresswoman Nikki Tsongas. Live in Cambridge, I'm Katie Thompson, WCVB News Center 5.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And once those polls close in Massachusetts, we will bring you results and coverage of that later on this evening. Also happening is the debates in New Hampshire. We will bring you that and pre-coverage of the debates as well. Men accused of stealing dog, killing dog that washed up on beach turn themselves in. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
Spectrum's best deal days. Get Spectrum TV, internet, and voice from $29.99 a month each. Spectrum TV with free HD. Spectrum has the fastest internet starting speeds, 100 megabits per second. Get Spectrum TV, internet, and voice from $29.99 a month each.
You know, they don't care if you're having a bad day, a good day. They just love you to death, and it's unconditional. So that's why it hurts so bad.
The owner of a dog brutally killed in Winter Harbor speaking out. He says the two suspects who are now in police custody were sternmen on his boat. Philip Torrey says that his dog Frankie disappeared when he went out of town last week. The dog's remains were discovered Thursday night on a private beach. Police say Nathan Burke and Justin Shipman turned themselves into police this morning. Meantime, Torrey says that he's seen an overwhelming amount of support.
It has greatly restored my faith in humanity to see people from all over the country just reaching out to say, I'm thinking of you, I'm praying for you, my heart breaks for you. You know, it shows there's so many good people, you know, and sometimes we need a reminder that there's a lot of good.
Torrey also says that in addition to finding his dog dead, he found his SUV damaged with a bullet in it. Burke and Shipman are both charged with burglary, theft, aggravated cruelty to animals, aggravated criminal mischief, and unauthorized use of property.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at that U.S. stock market and see how U.S. stock market closed for this Tuesday evening. And here is a look at that U.S. stock market, as you can all see. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in, the red went down. Your Nasdaq closed in, the red went down. S&P 500 closed in, the red went down. CNBC IQ 100 closed in, the red went down. Gold closed in, the red went down. Oil closed in, the red went down. US 10-year closed in, the green and went up. Euro/USD closed in, the green and went up. And VIX closed in, the green went up. Stocks fell on first trading day of September amid increasing trade tensions with Canada and China. Stocks fell on Tuesday as trade tensions between the U.S. and key partners increased to start off one of the toughest parts of the year for equity investors. Father of Parkland victim says Kavanaugh would not shake his hand at hearing. The father of a student killed in school shooting in Parkland, Florida, says Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh refused to shake his hand during a break in today's confirmation hearing. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday evening, and I'll see you back here later on this evening for a news report. And I'll see you back here tomorrow with more newscasts. Good night, everyone. Bye.